Transformers, Chapter 8. Combaticons combine. I don't actually know what a Combaticon is. That's a lesson to be learned in the comments of this video. Interesting name though, isn't it? They've put everything on it, haven't they? Obviously the Autobots and the Decepticons, I know that much. And of course we've got the Insecticons. So do they just put Ticons on everything? Is that what it is? Just put that on it and it becomes a new thing? And if you think about it, this series has been around for donkey's years. And you know how old donkeys are, dude. I used to ride them to get to school. Like, it's fascinating to think how the world has changed, hasn't it? And yet Transformers still remains because there's kids right now enjoying it. At least I hope they're enjoying it, because some of the modern cartoons are despicable. But we're playing a Swindle again on this level. This is another cool level, but it has a couple of difficult sequences. It also has some interesting kind of sequency breaks where you can skip some spawns by doing an action faster than the game probably intended you to be able to do it. Do you know one of the things I really appreciate on this that you might not get the true nature of because I've been trimming out all the downtime, is those boxes that I'm shooting there. You can find corners in levels and areas where you're not meant to go, and you'll find little caches filled with resources so you can buy upgrades and stuff. And I'm not using the upgrades, I'm not buying any of that, but it's really, really nice. It's the same with those chambers that give you weapons. If you're wondering why I never go to the chambers and get different weapons, it's because I'm intentionally not doing that. It's one of my restrictions. And we're also back to turning the hood off right now, which is funny. And it must be because maybe on those levels where I had the hood on, I needed to pay attention to my life because I was maybe dying a bit more than I am on these other levels, or maybe I just remembered to do it. It's hard to tell. It's been a while since I recorded this. And I don't know how I feel about that particular method. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I've tried so many different ways of doing it. At the moment, I've pretty much tried as every method that you can do to do it. By the way, don't do this. Don't do that. Because I've turned the hood off, there's a really obvious button that you're supposed to fuck with. And it's that right there. See that button? But with no hood, it's a bit awkward to see, and I ended up doing some stupid car moments, and I thought for a little bit of a leitmotif, I left that one in for you. Which show of fans, guys, for people who are listening, who care. Do you like it when I leave moments like that in? Would you prefer me to remove them? Because there are times when I take them out, but there are other times when sometimes I think that they can sometimes add to it, because I've talked about this many times, but it's always good to go over it for maybe fresh ears. And it's the idea that when a playthrough has got too much precision in its gameplay and it's too perfect, you lessen the amount of people that will enjoy it. And I know that might sound kind of strange, and I know that there's several examples that break that idea, but when something is so good and so pristine, it's almost demoralizing, especially to the people who struggled and to the lesser ability players, because they don't want to watch you doing something that looks like magic, because a lot of people are just going to say that you're cheating, or that the game is on a different difficulty, or they'll accuse you of some kind of subterfuge. So one of the best things you can do on YouTube to make something more, I suppose you could say it's like empathetical, is to show the flaws, to keep in some of the ugly so people realise that you're not a robot. And speaking of not being a robot, just then, if you blow up those missiles and that enemy spawns, even if they kill you, it will spawn you after the encounter and you will continue on. They did kill me, guys, and where the footage was linked just then was where I respawned. So if you're wondering where all those people went, they went off and had their morning coffee after they shit on my brains, because I was dead. I was so dead. You die so quick in this game when enemies are that close, and when there's multiples. And this is something you have to respect as well. If you try and go through this when it's all lit up, the engine, it is seemingly a really harsh fail state, because you die really quickly. Whereas this is not. This fire here, some of this fire is just completely fake. I don't really get it. It's like they didn't design it to hurt you, but they assumed a player wouldn't tempt it, which I think is really funny, and I like that. Definitely the type of thing I'd put in a game that I was making. But this is a difficult fight because we've got more people rushing us with shotguns, and we've got a bunch of guys on the bottom floor. I like to stay up top and pepper all the guys jumping around, and then try to stay on top until the drop shop? What is that, like top shop for drop ships? Anyhow, wait until the dropship to... Look at this, by the way. This is how hard this game can be when you're just getting railed. See that? Brutal. So brutal. And then this sequence, all you need to do is strafe out away the cannon. When the cannon turns, it delays and then it shoots, but it doesn't recover immediately. So as soon as it turns towards you, just move away. And you are completely safe. But I want to talk about games, and I know that might sound strange considering we're playing a game and I'm making a walkthrough and I'm talking about the walkthrough and talking about other games while making said walkthrough. But I really want to just talk about games from the perspective of sharing it on the internet. Like, I watch a YouTuber by the name of Happy Console Gamer, and it might surprise some people that I would watch that guy, because some people in my community don't really like his positivity, which I think is really funny. And I think it's interesting when you analyse it, but if you've never heard of this channel, it's a channel that's been going on YouTube for 15 years, and it's a dude that shares his life and his collection and his love of games. And he's loved video games longer than I've been alive, you know, like that guy is just really, really into it, and he's still into it, and he's into it to a level that I find difficult to imagine, because I don't think modern games are very good. I don't think gaming's been good for a long time. I think we're in the darkest time of gaming ever, and it makes me really sad, because the values that I love and that I grew up on are no longer being upheld or represented in this industry at all. It's just all scams now, and money and trash and YouTubers and influencers, and it's kind of dark. And I have no issue with it, other than, like, it shouldn't be this way, what went wrong. And I don't have issue with it, because I can always go back and play something like this. But what I find really rejuvenating and almost soothing is that he's still happy. It's this kind of, it's like reverse Schadenfreude. Like, he loves it in spite of it being irredeemable, in my opinion. And to him, it's not. And there's something really, I don't even know if it's almost like a synaptic reset. It just resets that part of your brain that goes, gaming is shit, what the fuck went wrong? And then you listen to him gush on something so innocuous that I don't even agree with, you know? Just absolutely loving it for what it is, on its, like, purest form. And then you just kind of go, it can't be that bad, can it? If you can be so happy, it can't be that bad. And then it makes me second guess myself. It makes me kind of go, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. And then I analyse it, and I still dislike it, and I still get really passionate and really angry. And I just kind of go, well, it takes all folks, doesn't it? There's something for everybody out there, but I must admit, I'm envious of him. I am. Because there's times when I wish I could see this industry through his eyes. But I know that I never will.